My name is Vikram. I've been in the crypto space for good some time. I think for a, for quite a long time. In a way, if you see from 2010, very actively reading and following and updating myself about what's going on with the crypto world in terms of Bitcoin world, because it was only about Bitcoin then. This is way long back. 2010 is sometime when like a small percentage, like the number of people that we know in crypto now, maybe just like less than 1% of them were the ones who knew about crypto, Bitcoin, and talking about Bitcoin and all that. So that's when I started off. The reason I got into Bitcoin is because of the way the recession was happening. I was living and working in England at that time. I had assets, my asset prices collapsed because of the recession of 2008 and 9. For me, coming from India, it was a little hard to grasp all of that, to see why some assets like house and land, which never collapses in India in terms of its price, uh, collapsed in the UK. And for me, when I was looking through those uh, issues online and trying to understand what makes a UK economy so bad, or maybe what is wrong with the demand and supply that goes on in the UK? Why suddenly a price can go up? And I remember a few years ago I bought my house, and previous to that recession, about 1 or maybe 1.5 years ago, a friend of mine also bought. And when he bought, it was a high price. And then when the recession hit, and after that the price has tanked and less than half, it is very hard for me to believe that. So when I was looking for answers, I clearly understood that yes, the monopoly of banks in the UK are too big. There are seven big banks. They have shook hands and they have together wants to make more money, I guess. So they want to control more people. So what they did was they did something called a price gouging, which is illegal. They all shook hands on pushing money, loans, and mortgages only for housing. Means you will not get any support or money or from the bank for education or business or travel. But when you say you were planning to buy money, they will happily give it to you without checking anything. We saw this issue in a couple of movies also that they made about the US recession. It was exactly the same that was followed in the UK. The big banks shook hands and they pushed more money into housing only for the last 10 years. So what happened? The house prices suddenly shot up too much because they're making everybody, whoever thinks of a house, a potential buyer. Because of that, the unnecessary or extra demand of buyers happens, and because of the extra demand is increased, the supply cannot increase like the way demand increased. The supply is always fixed. The number of houses in the UK is always fixed. Maybe a small percentage is increasing every year, but it is not going to just suddenly jump in numbers. So because the houses was fixed in numbers and the demand was increasing, the price had to increase. So very conveniently, the banks thought they were too smart. They could do that, and they thought people wouldn't understand. They did that. They pushed more money into housing only and got the house prices very up. Eventually, the bubble had to break. When the bubble broke, most of the people became slaves to the bank for longer than what they were. What I mean by that is, if your mortgage was remaining of 10 years or 15 years, and you were paying, say, around £1,000 or £500, the bank will come to your house and you say, okay, you're not able to pay your full loan amount or your full installment. Why don't we reduce the installment and make you pay only 20% of it, like say £200 or £300 a month? And when you reduce the amount of installments, eventually the number of years is going to increase. So people who are left with 10 years and 15 years just shot up to like 25, 30, 40 years remaining to pay the banks. Basically, that means the bank is going to collect from this guy till he dies. So everybody till they die in the UK, more than half the people in the UK till they die will be and are already slaves of the bank in the UK. It's England, my friends. United Kingdom. We talk about United Kingdom as if it's a very developed nation. No, it is developed very highly to screw people over, to extract more money from the people, make them more slaves, make them more not go out of their country, make them more less mobile. These are the things that the government is actually working on their people. In India, if you see, we are much more free and mobile. If you actually go and live abroad, is only then you understand what I'm saying. Unfortunately, not many people get an opportunity to go abroad, work and live and earn your own money and still have an option to come back like I had. I actually had an option to take UK visa and UK, sorry, not a visa. I already have a visa, UK passport. I mean to say, because I had already finished more than 5.5, 6 years. When I had an opportunity to take the passport, I completely refused. Then I didn't want to take it because I didn't see any, help that I was going to get by taking on the English passport, except for a few countries, extra few countries that I can go to without a visa because if I have an English passport. But I guess that was not everything that I wanted in my life. I wanted to be free. With Indian passport, I am more free than being on an English passport. So thanks to that, at least I didn't want to, I got to know a lot of things before, I eventually realized that I have to quit UK because it was not giving me the opportunity that I thought UK was going to give. It did give me in the first couple of years when I was living there, but later I saw the whole recession part just spoiled the taste of the UK experience for me. Actually, it is for everybody. If you go now, you will not see it. But of course, if you stay and live and work there for a few years, you will realize that it's too much controls there, and you're really not free. So all that made me, leave UK. Before I left UK, I had got into so much into Bitcoin. Just before I left UK in 2011, I bought some of the bitcoins on bitcointalk.org forum. That forum is where Satoshi also was available, and it was very useful actually because I thought this was going to be the future of money, even though I had not met anybody who could agree with me and talk to me about Bitcoin. I had no one to talk to about it. So for me, the confidence that I was gaining that Bitcoin is going to be the future of money was only through online and understanding the information that was available online on forums like bitcointalk.org. In person, I did not meet anybody till 2013. It was only in Bangalore. There was a group of people who were wanting to meet and then talk about Bitcoin. I joined the group and then I spoke. Till then, I was traveling for 2 years, 15 countries. Absolutely zero number of people I met from 2011 till 13 in my travel also. So if you can understand what I mean, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was very, very new and very latest at the time. Absolutely nobody knew. But why I'm trying to talk about it in meetups is because even for me, when I was trying to gain more confidence on Bitcoin, I could not meet people. Only in 2013, when I met people, I got immense confidence that Bitcoin is here to stay and is a great technology and everybody loves it. That comes because you meet people, right? So that's why I do these meetups, and I'd like people to come and speak to me. When they speak to me, I give them a little bit of experience that I have from my Bitcoin his journey, and then it helps a lot of people. A lot of developers have understood that yes, it is really there for the future, and they have started developing after they met me because I've given them so much of confidence by talking about it, by giving them so much of insights from what has been happening from the 2010 onwards in Bitcoin space, because I've been there living and seeing that. So that's just me, guys. I guess we can start the event full on. Do we have enough? Should we start, Adi?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So, as we were talking about a little bit of my background, I told you that I was living in England and I had an opportunity to continue to live in England with taking up the passport. But I realized the banks make it very hard for you to be free in the UK. So, it's more easier for me to be more freer in India. So, this is where I am now in India. I'm doing this meetup. One of the few things that I do like about cryptocurrency and what it does is it's a great technology for us to have our own freedom of money. So that means we don't have to use government printed, centralized banks printed paper money, which can get highly inflated by printing more and more. That's what has been happening in the US and UK. A lot of recession issues are because of that. So that is something what crypto can fix and Bitcoin can fix. That's what I learned about it. So this is where my journey started with cryptocurrency. When I saw my assets collapse in the UK, I had to get into an alternative to see why this was happening. In my alternative of Bitcoin, I saw it was really decentralized and a free money, and it's open source for everybody to develop and contribute to it from any part of the world without being in a controlled environment of governments and paper money and fiat currencies. When I say fiat currencies, I'd like to explain. Fiat is something which is doesn't have any, backing of gold or anything because gold backing stopped, in terms of like informed stopping was in 2000, in 1971, almost 52 years ago. Before that also people were not necessarily printing money according to the gold reserves that they have. So that uh, plan of the banks of the world's federal reserves, the world's reserve banks, that they were going to print money according to the gold that they have is actually not being followed now, clearly since last 52 years. So that's one of the reasons why our paper money, the government printed money, is called a fiat currency. So we're trying to see how fiat is not as good as crypto for the future of money. So in global crypto money, you see what all can become a really a global payments currency. In crypto wise, it's Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Litecoin, and also of course BTC. But if you see BTC and Ethereum, they have a little issue when there is a bull run. The price of the fee paid for an on-chain transaction shoots up really too much. So it really doesn't help being a currency of the people for the times when it is in a bull run. So for those reasons, I put Bitcoin Cash first, then Dash, then LTC, then Bitcoin. Is because in a hierarchy way that way, Bitcoin Cash works so much better even in a bull run time because of their fixed amount of fees, which can be executed at even one satoshi per byte. Because of the size of the block being 32 MB, Bitcoin Cash works superbly for that reason as money. So crypto and blockchain is a potential role of the money system. Yes, it is going to take on. And I don't have to say that like I'm sitting in 2013. We are in 2023. I have seen the 10 years of progress. And it is not just in India because we are all from India and we kind of like understand the Indian demography and how the economics work in India. In India, we don't use cryptocurrency as payments currency. Why? Because we have better solutions here like UPI. UPI just kills any other option of sending and receiving money because it is so easy to use. If you see abroad, anything other than India, they do not have a feature like UPI. Because they do not have a feature like UPI, they have to rely on something like Bitcoin Cash, and which has been happening. Many places in Venezuela, US, UK, Australia, there are countries which I don't want to say the name, the whole list, of course, many Caribbean islands, they're already using Bitcoin Cash. Why? Is because it's really useful. They're sending small amounts like of rupees in equivalent 10 to 15,000 rupees, 50, 100, $200. They can send this for a small fee as small as less than 1 cent in fee on Bitcoin Cash. But any other process, any other way, if you send like where MoneyGram or Western Union or banks, they spend a lot of money in terms of percentage. They go up to 10 to 20%. So if you're spending 10 to 20% of your 10,000 rupees, it's not going to make sense. 1,000 rupees to pay for fees to send 10,000 rupees is too much. We would like to pay in UPI. We don't pay even anything. Even if they make say 25 paise, it's absolutely nothing, right? So that's what Bitcoin Cash uses. What we use as value as currency in the past is different. So in this slides, I'm also talking about how the evolution of money happened. With this, you will also be able to understand if the evolution was this format. In this format, we can only consider crypto being the real evolved currency for the future. When I go through all the slides, you will understand by yourself that this is how the future trajectory of what people are going to use as money will be. Today's discrepancy in global and fiat values, of course, that's one of the issues. These are all some of the issues that we have mentioned. Also, Bitcoin, the gold 2.0 on the internet, that's one of the ways gold became popular. The reason gold uh, is so much talked about is because it kind of holds the value no matter what happens in this world economics. Uh, for years and years, gold has held value. So that's why Bitcoin has been compared to gold 2.0 because gold also is now understood that Bitcoin is also understood. I mean to say, sorry, it was not gold. Bitcoin is mean to understood. It is like gold now in gold of internet in that format. So that was what it was done. And then we're going to be talking about Satoshi Nakamoto's vision, global payments with help of blockchain, and not just one blockchain. There are multiple blockchains. We're going to be talking about all of that. So some of these images help us understand what used to be the currencies of the past. Uh, Amber and turquoise for the reason because there were few that we will find on the face of the earth. Seashells, of course, if you're on the seaside, you may not be scarce, but if you are anywhere outside other than the seaside, seashells are scarce, so they were used as currency. Feathers, if they were in like they were used as currencies because they're not something that is found in abundance, right? Tobacco and salt, exactly the same idea. They are not found in abundance, so they were used as currency. So if you see more or less, they were all like a barter system. Barter is happening even today. If you know, I can give you a small example of the story that's happening. Russia and India are doing a lot of trade. And while Russia and India are doing a lot of trade, Russia is sending a lot of oil to us where we are paying them in ruble, dollar, whatever. I think we were paying most of them in ruble, then in INR also. So instead of paying them in rupee in fiat currency, which is ruble or rupee, India has suggested Russia, and Russia also understands the suggestion, and they took the suggestion open heartedly to take products from us than the money. You know what that is going on? Barter system is coming back. The barter system is always there. It's just a best money becomes money. Best product that is considered as really useful for them to again use as money is considered as money. More or less, they're all like barter, right? So India is just not paying the fiat currency. They said, why don't you take products from us because you are giving us so much in value. We don't want to keep paying you. Might as well take some product. So when they were giving back in product, we kind of like struck a deal with Russia for like a barter system. That's what it is. So in the past they were all like barter system. Whatever barter you mean to say is scarce for the other person, he will accept that. Most of the times it's used as currency. That's how they're all getting evolved. So precious metals were one of the greatest currencies. Gold used to be the currency of the world in the past, before the internet world, before the world where we would do business only when we meet people in person. So when we meet people in person, we could use gold as currency. Uh, but now we cannot because we do our business online. So that's why we use cryptocurrencies for online payments because they are equivalent to gold. Which ones are, that is something we have to understand. Equivalent to gold for payments currency, it's Bitcoin Cash. Equal to gold for assets is Bitcoin. So you understand the small difference. In cryptocurrency, there are spread out in many ways. Each have its own niche use cases now. And if Bitcoin Cash is used more for payments, of course we will be using Bitcoin Cash also as a store of value and asset because anything in the past and history has shown anything that we use more in payments and if it can last for a long time, it will be used as store of value also. But we cannot use bananas as store of value because bananas has a shelf life of a week. So if you don't use this as money and barter it out, we have to eat and finish. Otherwise, they're going to get spoiled. But gold is not like that. Gold can be used as currency and can be held by us for years and years and will not get spoiled and can sit with us as a store of value. And can crypto do that? Yes. Bitcoin can be the store of value, but not necessarily as payments when it needs really needed in bull run time. Bitcoin Cash is the real currency for that matter. It can be the payments currency at any point of time right now with the way the Bitcoin Cash is developed. It has higher MB in block size so that we can do more transactions. At the same time, when we do more and more Bitcoin Cash transactions and we realize Bitcoin Cash is more useful, automatically Bitcoin Cash also is going to become the store of value because a lot of people are just going to hold more BCH because any day it will grow in value and any day anyone will accept because easy to send receive on chain, so it will automatically become store of value. So this is how the past has happened. This is all me learning about history of economics and history of money and cryptocurrencies and everything since 2010. And because of the way I have spent so much time and I've done research, I can give you these things to people. A lot of people find it really useful because they don't have the time necessarily to sit and do all the research themselves. So some of the discrepancies that I'm talking about in fiat values, if you print too much, this is the problem that you're going to have. Nobody should be carrying their money in a trailer or a push trailer like that, where the person is pushing his money on the right. Did you see it became paper, worthless paper? And the way the guy is laughing and amount is taking so easily, that means that amount of money is worth only say 200, 300, or 500 rupees. That's why he's so freely taking it around. If you have so much paper for just 500 rupee worth of value, when you go in Indian scenario and buy a car, how much paper are you paying him? More than the weight of the car to buy the car? That should not be the case. That should never be the case. But this case happens in the world because their governments are very, reckless. They're not technically or economically sound. They're dumb people. They sit there and then just print how much ever money they want. So I'm trying to show some of these images to my Facebook friends because they can't see the presentation. See the presentation that I'm talking about. This is what uh, one of the greatest examples is Zimbabwe money. Zimbabwe money is lost its values because the government has overprinted the money and highly devalued their money by inflating their own currency. So they're screwing their own people. Well, we have seen that actually anybody who sits on power absolutely becomes corrupt, and then this is the kind of things that happens. That's one of the reasons why we have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency today is because Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are not fiat currencies. They cannot be hyperinflated. They are bound by the rule laws of blockchain and the way your Satoshi has written the codes. When you download, you understand whoever downloads, they all follow the same protocol, and because we all follow the same protocol, we all become equal partners in this protocol, and everybody's consensus is required to print more. And because we are not interested in printing more, the numbers are fixed, and only thing that goes up in Bitcoin is only the value of it. So that's what we want. We want the price of Bitcoin to go up and help people in future. Because if we save some Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as store of value, it should increase with time, not get devalued and become like this, the way that the slide is. Anyway, gold 2.0 is the Bitcoin, and just a little bit of more explanation about why digital gold is needed. Uh, right now, Bitcoin is the digital gold as 2.0, but I think it is more of a Bitcoin Cash is the real gold 2.0 for currencies and store of value. Only the future will tell. I am very bullish and strong about it, but I guess a lot of people don't understand that right away. If I'm telling you this today, in 2 years' time is when you will understand, because this is the kind of time any newcomer will take to absorb any new understanding in this economics of crypto. Because 2 years is the time taken for the for you to hear this today, and 2 years you will see scenarios of this world economics and how everything falls in place. And in 2 years down the line, you will be 100% confirmed and guaranteed, and you have that 2 years of backing behind you to show that yes, cryptocurrency is here to stay, and this is how it moves on. And now you are also very strong in believing that is because you spent 2 years of your time trying to believe that yes, it is going to happen or not. And now that you spent your 2 years minimum, you will know and you will become really strong at it. Some of the things why Bitcoin is going to be popular in future compared to how gold used to be. See, gold, when we used to transact, we would meet people in person. If you see on the top, gold was never been sent around in Dunzo and then your porter service where somebody was going to pick it up from your door and drop it in somebody else's house. No, those kind of features were never there. Those features are available today is because of the internet. And that's why we need an internet based money. If you see internet based money can sit from anywhere to anywhere, from Cuba to Japan, you can send without anybody's middleman being there. So they're all instant, depending on only the block timing that they have, depending on what currency and what block they have. I'm talking about proof of work decentralized currencies only, not any cryptocurrency that just comes up today, uh, which is centralized and which is launched by any one person. These are the coins that are legendary coins, which was supported by a community became to happen that they understood Bitcoin as a technology. This is the way it's going to move forward. If you see, Satoshi actually brought up a groundbreaking invention, which is the blockchain, and his first experiment was Bitcoin on top of it. And he said it also in a way. He says Bitcoin is going to be the peer-to-peer electronic cash, a purely P2P version of electronic cash, which will allow payments online directly from A to B, from person to person. You don't need to put in anybody in between like a financial institution. Nobody had ever done this before. This is what Satoshi did, and a lot of people and a lot of places they're trying to hide this white paper from you. This is the part of the first page of the white paper. This is very important for everybody. Actually, had anybody heard of this sentence before that? I'd like to ask a question. Has anybody read the Bitcoin white paper? Please just come up with your answer in message or say yes by unmuting your mic.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, thanks to a lot of yes that I heard. I'm glad that you guys have gone through it. But you remember this one line that is very popular till today, a P2P version of electronic cash sent directly from A to B without a need of financial institution. This is like one of the main things of white paper. You guys had heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you see that reduces a little bit because people do read the white paper, but they kind of don't get the understanding of what is that sentence mean. It's very deep in a Western world. If you see where Western world is completely controlled by the banks. In the UK, where I lived, more than 95% of the people are already controlled by the banks. That means any small percentage of people who are not on the banking ladder, who don't have bank accounts, don't have a credit card, are using just cash in the UK. They are called gypsies. But the English people, they themselves, with the help of banks, which are banks are the ones who are instigating this, they are naming and shaming these people who are using cash by calling them, gypsies, jippos, jipolatas, whatever the name is, and they do not give them the features like the way the credit card holders get features. So because of that, they're restricting these bank guys to come onto the banking ladder. Why are they doing that? They want everybody to be in the bank so that they can control everyone. So that's one of the reasons why Satoshi wrote this, and he did Bitcoin, and he made a lot of mentions about these things. Is because he lived in a Western completely developed nation. And developed nation, this is the developed nation issues that we have. We don't understand here because India is underdeveloping. We would like to be underdeveloping is because we don't want to be forced developed like the way Western New York is developing people. They're putting everybody on the banking ladder, just making sure everyone has a bank account and everybody should do their transactions only through the bank, not by cash, not by any cryptocurrencies. This is the kind of controls they're trying to do, is why Satoshi has written this. And he understood this quite before, is because in Satoshi's era, when he posted this particular information on your Cyberpunk's group, the Cyberpunk group had people who had tried and tested many alternative currencies in the past, before 2008. The names were many. They were called Hashcash, eGold, BitGold, BitCash. Many names were there. But the only issue with these currencies was they were all centralized. So this group of people, even though they were really smart and knowledgeable people, they had kept enough money in the American bank account to support their alternative currencies. Still, their alternative currencies were not allowed to flourish. US government came hard on them and they stopped all their alternative currencies. When they were all stopped, the reason they could be stopped is because they were all centralized. They were all initiated by a group of people or an individual or a company. Because it was like that, US government was easily able to come and shut them down. But in Bitcoin, you can see it is a P2P version. It's a proof of work concept where no individual or no one or no company, no one government or a country is controlling Bitcoin. It is controlled by everybody who uses Bitcoin. That's the beauty of it. That's why you cannot be shut down, is why he posted this in that group, is because they already knew that we needed a payments currency without a need of central authority, central institution or financial institution mediating these two transactions. Because if you see, before Bitcoin, no person could have done a transaction without meeting. If you had to do a transaction without meeting A and B, A had to use a bank account to send be the money. So without that, there was no way it could have been done. That's one of the reasons why Satoshi wrote this in the abstract very clearly. It's a P2P version of electronic cash. We don't need any central financial institutions to mediate these transactions, is what he clearly mentioned. A lot of people miss that, is because in India we miss it completely. I do not blame anyone because we really don't see that those issues. If you go to the Western world, you will see them from the day one you land in US, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Europe. You will see them that difficulty in making payments to buy food, buy just simple groceries, buy fuel, those things are all hard there, is because you tell them that, yeah, you want to make a payment with your Indian credit card. They'll say, this card cannot be used. We only want Visa. We only want Mastercard. We do not know Rupee. These are the kind of things will start in the West, unless we change in India to uh, their paper fiat and go and spend the fiat paper money. Uh, Other times we'll find a little bit of difficulty which you will never find them in India.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Vikram.
Go for
So,
it.
being in India, why should I actually use Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies then?
So being in India, you don't have to use. In India, when you're there, you're using UPI because it's more useful for us. It's easy to send from my wallet. It is easy to send. It is easy to receive for a merchant in his wallet. But as a technology, Bitcoin is a very global based technology. So as Indians, just because we don't use the money part of it, does not mean that the technology is not happening. The technology of it being the money of the future will definitely happen. And when it happens in the future, in few years down the line, we should be able to communicate with people abroad easily and instantly with cryptocurrency. And if we didn't know about it and if we don't hold it, we will find it harder. We will be using Western Union and other wire transfers through the bank, which are very, very expensive. Say tomorrow from an Indian diaspora, one boy just came up with a code or a poem or a music or a song lyrics. If he wants to sell this abroad for a small amount of money, just say 100 rupees per piece, he should be able to sell this for a payment in cryptocurrency, because he cannot expect money to come from UPI, right? Somebody in Japan, Korea, and all, they love Indian music, they love Indian, tech guys sitting and writing codes. If they were buying a small pieces of work from us and if they were going to pay us, they cannot pay through UPI. So we have to make them find it easier to pay us, which is in cryptocurrency. So if I don't tell you about all these things today, tomorrow you will find it difficult to communicate with people abroad in monetary terms. I learned this when I was in the UK. There is nothing new. I'm telling you. When I was living in the UK, the experience that I got was immense. My neighbors in the UK would start a business, and if they were starting a business, they would always think global. But in India, we as people, when we start a business, we think local because we think if we can sell this to India, is good enough. But actually, it is. It's because India is a big market, but in ways that if we become a big enough in India and we want to go abroad, we should know what is going on abroad. So that's one of the reasons we want to bring in all this information to you and help you understand what's really happening in the crypto world abroad.
Thank you,
I
Vikram.
hope that was helpful.
Yes, very clearly. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question. I guess you guys have any other questions on that format, like the way Adi asked. Please stop me at any point of time and ask me those questions. Happy to answer. So we're trying to understand the payment modernization in blockchain, like how and what cryptocurrencies offer you in terms of how we can use them as payments. Bitcoin gives a block time of 10 minutes for every transaction. Mind you, Bitcoin had the zero confirmation system, which was removed in 2016. So that's one of the reasons why we cannot follow a zero confirmation on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin sits on a 10-minute time frame. So every time when we do a transaction, it takes about an average of 10 minutes for somebody else to receive, the other person to receive your money. Sometimes the fees is very high. Uh, Most times the fees is moderately high, like compared to other things like UPI and Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, they take a lot of fee. Like 4 rupees is still a lot of money, right? But Bitcoin goes for 40 rupees to 4,000 rupees easily. Sometimes in the bull run, 2017 bull run, Bitcoin and Ethereum's your on-chain network fee have touched close to 80,000 rupees per transaction. That's way too much. Nobody should be spending 80,000 rupees to send a small amount of money if you're sending small amount on a bull run time. So that's why we want something that works even at a bull run time, as it says, with the smallest fee. That's what is Bitcoin Cash is. So Bitcoin sits on the top with 10 minutes. Then we have Litecoin. Then we have Ethereum. Actually, if you see the time of the block, with Litecoin is 2.5 minutes. With Ethereum is only 15 seconds. But Bitcoin's block time, Bitcoin Cash's block time is 10 minutes. But we don't have to really wait for 10 minutes, is because Satoshi has built this superb technology called zero confirmation system that is still available on Bitcoin Cash, and it confirms your transaction instantly. That means if you're receiving a transaction without waiting for it to become one block transaction, you can send and receive the same amount again and again multiple times. Is why we've shown this in the diagram, and that's the beauty of how payment should be. If you go to UPI and see the NPCI website details, NPCI is the National Payments Institution of India, or National Payments Council of India, my bad, has shown you the amount of use cases for UPI is tremendous. The way it has grown to the number of transactions per day is crazy. No other world banks have seen that. And these Western banks will sit there and they think they're too big, and Swiss banks they think they're too big. They're nothing compared to Indian banking system and the UPI system and the way we are functioning. They're all corrupt banks. They're all banks sitting there and waiting for people's black money to spend for themselves. They're such low graded banks in the West and Switzerland. You cannot even believe. But they are too proud of their stolen or their banks. I don't understand why. So this is the system of how cryptocurrencies function, and by looking at this, we should know what cryptocurrency fits better for what purpose. One of them, which is Bitcoin Cash, fits perfectly fine for payments, and it's going to be the future of money. Your Ethereum will be the future of technology in terms of how every DeFi and all the tech part of it will sit on it for your non-payment side, where the value is held on the on the computers only. Then you comes your Litecoin and Bitcoin. They're all nice assets. They sit as an asset. Of course, the assets also can be used as payments, but you have to watch what time of the year or when you're sending your payments, because the fee should not be superbly high, right? You should not be paying higher than what you're sending. Makes no sense. If somebody is sending me 1,000 rupees and if he's paying 2,000 rupees as fee to send the 1,000 rupees, makes no sense. It's like how you're sitting in a remote part of Africa and using Western Union. They're doing that right now. In remote part of Africa, and Western Unions are charging more money than what they receive. That is really rubbish and stupid. At least with Bitcoin, I'm hoping those things will change in future. So Milton Friedman is a man who already, envisioned this future. What we are talking about, not now, not 5 years, 10 years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago. Anybody who knew Bitcoin knew that they were going to do Bitcoin was going to be the currency of the future, and now that this Bitcoin Cash is. But Milton Friedman knew this way long ago. In 2000 and not even 2000, in 1998, there's an interview of Milton Friedman, and he's saying how an electronic cash will be popular in the future. He says A to B, people will be sending money on the internet, and without the need of central financial institutions. And he said that it's because Milton Friedman is a very good economist. He's got economics awards in '75 onwards. He's been winning many awards. He's been a very great economist, so he's seen the future. He didn't have to even see Bitcoin to tell the future. Now that we know, we have seen, we experienced Bitcoin, we should be knowing this better than Milton Friedman. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying Bitcoin Cash is going to be the daddy of all the cryptocurrencies for payment sector.
Vikram, we have a question from Vaibhav.
Yes, I saw that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me the question.
Does the transaction cost only comprises of the cost of computing resources?
What do they really mean? If you have understood, can you explain Adi, yourself?
Vaibhav, can unmute yourself and ask the question?
Okay, while speaking, you spoke about the 80,000 rupees cash, which is high than the actual transaction. So, what this cost of transaction comprises of? Does it only comprise of the computing resources
Understood,
like
Vaibhav.
hardware or the processors which are used?
Thank you very
There are
much for
any
your
other
question.
parts? Yeah, that's it.
Sure, sure. I understood that. Actually, what you're saying is who's taking this network fee in a way? And what is this network fee for? Is it for
Yes.
computing or is it for? So that's a very good question, Vaibhav. Actually, you brought this point out so that I can explain why some blocks are charging you way too many, dollars or money for the network fee. Like I was telling you, Bitcoin and Ethereum have charged close to $1,000 in a bull run time. Means 2017 bull run and 2021 bull run, we both the times we experienced this, we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum were paying a very, very high network fee. So the network fee, of course, goes to the miner. The miner is the one whose computer wins the block. So the miners are many. There are millions of miners sitting around the world with their computing power contributed to the blockchain of Bitcoin. Let's just stick to Bitcoin for now. And when they all these miners are sticking their computer to the blockchain of Bitcoin, when the Bitcoin transaction happens, the mining fee goes to one of these computers, whichever wins the block. Well, of course, if you win the block, you get the mining reward also, which is the 6.25 bitcoins right now, plus all everybody's mining fee will come to you. But what has happened since 2017 is Bitcoin's block size is limited to 1 MB. And Bitcoin's block size was never limited to 1 MB in the beginning of 2009 when Bitcoin started. It actually happened in 2010 by Satoshi. When Bitcoin started in 2009 January, the block size was unlimited. So you could do as many transactions as you want on Bitcoin on blockchain. But Satoshi restricted the block size to 1 MB in 2010, and he mentioned this development in the forum of bitcointalk.org. On that forum, when people asked him the question why he limited it to 1 MB, he said, by unlimited numbers, we can experience DDoS kind of attacks and unnecessary dust movement of Bitcoin on the blockchain, which is not necessarily needed. Is because by the time in 2010, already one company named Satoshi's Dice was around there. It's a gambling site, and the Satoshi's Dice was sending out dividends or the winnings to people in Satoshis. So because the block was unlimited, and there was no fee charged at that time in the beginning of Bitcoin. They were sending one satoshis to people in trillions of transactions, thousands of transactions, which accounted for trillions over the period of time. So when you were seeing that amount of transactions happening, he restricted the block to 1 MB, and he said the amount of transactions that are happening are not increasing more than 1 MB. Let's keep it to 1 MB. When the transactions increase more than 1 MB for that every 10 minutes, we can develop or we can increase the block size in the next upgrade on the Bitcoin, is what he said. But in 2017, when Bitcoin developers, they themselves didn't go back to Satoshi's words and understand that and increase it. Instead of that, they were debating with other developers saying that they're not going to increase the block size because they were going to make Bitcoin only for the few rich people. They limited this block size to 1 MB and kept that continuing to be 1 MB only. So when BCH guys split away from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash split in 2017, that was one of the major debates that was happening between developers of Bitcoin. That half the developers of Bitcoin were saying that we should increase the block size because Satoshi himself said we should increase, and he restricted the block size then. That means we should be able to increase it now. But the other half of the Bitcoin developers, they were restricting this 1 MB so that they can bring in a feature called RBF. It means replace by fee. That means only a rich person who pays higher fee can get a transaction on the block, and Bitcoin blockchain should be dedicated to rich people in this world only. Makes any sense to you? No, because this is the same thing that is going around in the world. Banks want to keep their rich and things and bigger value for only the bigger players. They don't want to consider any middle class people and the lower economy people. So they are not interested in developing Bitcoin also the same way. That means it's clearly seen that in New York, where most of these developers sitting and working on, they're already been controlled by the banks, by the Federal Reserve in New York. They said, okay, don't allow this Bitcoin to become bigger in block size. Nobody should be able to use this. Let's restrict it so that only a few rich from New York only should be able to use it. Because of that, the restriction of 1 MB faces an issue that you have 10,000 transactions for every 10 minutes, but only 1,000 transactions fit in the block. So whoever pays higher fee will go on the block. That's the bidding fee which made the fee go higher in 2017 and 21. Did you see that? Actually, the fee which went really high is not really helping the technology part of it. If the fees was very high and if the higher money came to the miner, the miner should be able to use that higher value of fee paid to him in adding more technology or adding more hardware or something like that, right? But no, nothing of that sort is happening. It is only restricting Bitcoin to become an asset class and become an asset only for the rich. because in this world today, many rich people have a lot of assets they've not even disclosed to their own government. Forget us. They hold these assets in airports. They build these buildings to support only the rich people. What are these airport buildings are doing? They're keeping all these arts and artifacts which are very highly valuable in assets. They're highly valuable assets. They are very highly valuable in value. I mean, so these assets are sitting in these buildings, and these buildings don't belong to that country where it is in, because it's called a transit building. It doesn't belong to any country, so they don't have to pay any tax. So they're storing all these assets, just like the way they're storing all these assets. All the rich corrupt people, they want the same rich corrupt people to start using only them to have Bitcoin. That's why the fees of Bitcoin goes very high in bull runs, because in bull run, of course, everybody want to do a transaction. And if you're trying to do a small transaction, and if you're a middle class person, they don't want you to come on the block. They want only the rich people to play in the Bitcoin block. That's why Bitcoin block charges you up to 80,000 rupees in a bull run time, because the bidding goes on, and whoever bids highest will get their transaction happen within 10 minutes. Others transaction can take up to weeks, months, and sometimes even 6 months for a transaction to complete on a Bitcoin blockchain, because you initiated just before the bull run and it didn't go through, and you paid a small fee, and you're just sitting there for 6 months, and the transaction happens. So that point that you mentioned, Vaibhav, it had to be brought till here, is because this is the real history of what has been happening to cryptocurrency. Well, I guess I don't blame the big rich bankers in New York, because it is their power, right? Bitcoin is trying to take the power away from them. So they are now scrambling like headless chickens. Which, have you ever heard of New Yorkers do that? They do that all the time. Anyway, this is one of the times now. They're scrambling like headless chickens because Bitcoin is killing them. So when Bitcoin is killing them, they're trying to kill Bitcoin by these methods, by putting restriction on its block, by not letting everybody use blockchain of Bitcoin. So that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin Cash is split out, and we got 32 times more block size. And every 6 months, Bitcoin Cash is developing it to become better and better currency of the future. And I guess that question of yours brought to all of this explanation. I hope that was useful for everybody to understand.
Yes, yes, yes. Much in detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav. So in comparison to all the slides that we were doing, whatever Satoshi had done, it's come to this point now. So what Satoshi did was he fixed the double spending issue which comes with anything other than Bitcoin. Means if Bitcoin is a decentralized proof of work system, it works very nicely and it fixes the double spend issue. The double spend issue is fixed is because there is another issue that was fixed by Bitcoin by Satoshi. It is also called the Byzantine generals problem or the fault tolerance. This particular Byzantine generals problem has been there in the world since the last 1,000 years. When the Byzantine Empire, which is the East European Empire, is called the Byzantine Empire, they were experiencing this issue. The issue is to make sure all the generals who go out to attack another village or a town have same information, that they all attack at the same time. They should not have different information to different person. So this was the Byzantine generals problem, and in computer terms, it's called the Byzantine fault tolerance. The details of this can be looked up online. You, by Google it, you will see it. Before, if somebody named Bob had to make a transaction, his transaction on computing format could be made a copy and can be sent to double two people, Alice and Lisa. So what I'm saying is, say if Bob had a document which is very highly valuable, and if the document was sent to A, which is Lisa, she could quickly make a copy of it and send it to Alice also, or Bob can himself send it to both people and claim that he only sent it to one person. So this issue that they could copy and paste and send to many people is been fixed by Satoshi with the help of this proof of work system that he built for Bitcoin. That fixes the double spending problem. One of the main core issues for any online transactions without a central party, which we never had. So now we have it, and Satoshi fixed that. That's double spend issue. It's called. So this is what happens in a mining protocol. When the mining does happen and everybody has the same client of Bitcoin that has been downloaded, and everybody runs the same client, and everybody runs mining according to the time and time stamping of Bitcoin. You cannot now do the double spending. So this fixture of double spending from Satoshi was one of the main things. That's why in the beginning, when he published this in the cyberpunks group, because the cyberpunk groups were the smart guys, right? They were all ones who had tried and tested their currencies before. They were all loving it. They said, "Oh, amazing! This fixes the double spend." We will have to wait and see. What do they mean? Means you have to wait and see for more than 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, for it to continue not to allow people to double spend. That's when its confidence will keep increasing and its value will keep increasing. And we know that double spend has been fixed since last 15 years from the day of Bitcoin's launch. We've not seen any kind of double spend happen. Is why Bitcoin is holding X amount of value, because nothing in this world holds the value of what Bitcoin is holding. What, say, some 20, $30,000? Nothing holds that kind of value. Even cars, even Apple phones don't hold that kind of value. They drop every year in price. But Bitcoin's price is growing is because it's proving itself that it cannot be done. It cannot be double spent. The more it is proving with years, the more valuable it is getting. So in terms of payments currency, you know which cryptocurrency is the best. We've spoken so much about it. One of the main payments currency that we think cryptocurrencies will be for the future is Bitcoin Cash, because the developers of Bitcoin Cash are much smarter in economics than any other that I have seen. Mind you, I've been looking into crypto and economics since 2010, and that's been my focus of my research for the last 13 years. So I can understand who's really developing to be the real future's money, which is Bitcoin Cash. No doubts about it. Hands down, they're doing that. One of the products that they're bringing out on Bitcoin Cash blockchain is called the cash tokens. And these cash tokens are going to help us use payments currency even better. Well, the future will tell that. In a month's time, cash tokens will be released, and only the time will tell us how more superior Bitcoin Cash has become. So this is what we were talking about, and like our cryptocurrency, our Insta Crypto tagline is "Embrace crypto with confidence." That's one of the reasons why we came up with that. Is because we want people to embrace it with confidence. We don't want them to lose out on this because they are lacking some confidence, because nobody has met them, told them, and convinced them. Yes, this is what whatever that you know about crypto is right. When somebody else tells you that these are things are correct, what you know about crypto, then your confidence keeps increasing, right? It'll only help you shape your future better. So that's where I'd like to end. Thank you very much, guys. But I would love to take some questions, and I'd like to have a conversation with you guys and understand what you'd like to know more, what you have from what you've heard so far. If I can just put the screen on smaller, I hope you guys can still see it. Any other questions on the message board, Adi?
Guys, I think Kush and MK has some questions. You guys can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Okay. So one thing that you were talking about was the zero confirmation thing.
Yes.
So does that mean like the Bitcoin chain underwent a change that did not allow zero confirmations, and BCH still has zero confirmations? What was that all about?
That's right. Whatever you said is exactly correct. In 2017, when Bitcoin went on to the upgrade that was scheduled for that day of 1st of August 2017, on that day when the upgrade happened, uh, the existing blockchain of Bitcoin that was going on till then split into two. It carried the same protocol on the Bitcoin Cash and on Bitcoin. In Bitcoin Cash, the protocol was continued. The continuation of the protocol is zero confirmation. Zero confirmation has been there since the day one of Bitcoin, since 2009, January 6th, when Bitcoin was launched. So, what does that mean? Is zero confirmation means as soon as you make a transaction, it gets time stamped. So if your time stamping is before me, that means you did 1 second before me a transaction. Your transaction sits in the queue before me. And even if I pay $1 million for my transaction after you, I will still go through the block after you because I'm time stamped after you. So this particular system that Satoshi had built, and this system before the Bitcoin block gets mined, there is something called mempool. Mempool is the place where all the transactions sit according to the timestamping. And in Bitcoin's development in 2017, the developers of Bitcoin, they removed this and they made RBF as the lead protocol there. RBF is called replace by fee. So in mempool, before going into the block, we are all sitting actually with the time-stamped method in the queue. Whoever comes first, did the transaction first, sits first. But because of RBF, whoever came later in the transaction, who paid higher fee, like I told you, $1 million I paid. But even though I paid $1 million before the 2017 update, I will be still sitting behind you because you did the transaction before me. Your timestamp is before me. But because of that update that the Bitcoin developers did, my transaction now can jump the queue and go ahead of you in the mempool, and then in the block I will be given a preference to go first inside the block. Because of why? Because I paid higher fee. So this was introduced on Bitcoin blockchain in 2017, which was never there. And BCH split away, Bitcoin Cash split away, so we continue to hold the zero confirmation system. That zero confirmation system is been upgraded and made it confirmed perfection. And because of that perfection, now we can use zero confirmation system on our BCH blockchain and send those transactions again and again. So multiple transactions can be sent before even the confirmation happens on a zero confirmation system, which is developed by the BCH after that. But of course, that zero conf was already there by Satoshi, which Bitcoin has been removed. Bitcoin has removed that. So that's
Right.
where we got the hit of how Bitcoin now becomes only an asset, not becomes a payments currency. Because for a payments currency, you should know UPI has become a payments currency in this world, right? In India, UPI is preferred for on over the cards. Is because even people who are really poor or middle class can use this instantly. If you see, Bitcoin was becoming like that, but because they didn't wanted the masses to use, Bitcoin became the few rich people's choice, and BCH continues to become like Bitcoin and continues to be used by everybody.
Got it. Got it. So basically, this was more about how miners could probably earn more fees, and probably something about that.
So miners can earn more fee without any problem. See, when your block is bigger, that means there are more transactions. Automatically, more transactions bring you more fees. So if the block is big or small, miners will get their fee. With time, with more transactions, with more people, being part of Bitcoin blockchain, can automatically do more transactions, will automatically do more transactions, will give more fees to the miners. But you don't have to restrict to 1 MB to give higher fees through smaller number of people. It's the same. 10 people giving 10,000 per person is the same as 10,000 people giving 10 rupees per person, right? Both
Yep.
equals the same amount to the miner. But you should see, understand the development of how economics should go. Economics say that the money is for everyone. If you restrict 10 people out of 15, who actually 10 people the main contributors of the economy, and if they're not able to communicate with money, they're not able to contribute to the economy. Your economy is now running with five people, maybe five biggest losers because they're rich people and they only bought a helicopter and sold a helicopter, and they bought a higher Mona Lisa's painting and sold the Mona Lisa's painting. Those two transactions in that economy, does that show the real economic wealth of that 15 people? No, it is showing some rubbish two transactions only. That is what Bitcoiners want. They want the rich New Yorkers only to be the world's population, and might as well bloody just like bomb the rest, throw all the nukes to everybody else and just run your own New York, right? Why do you want
Yeah.
people from India, and why do you want people from Russia, and why do you want people from the rest of your 49 states also in New York? Just kill them and use only your own people. That's
So it's
what they brought
basically
it down
become
to.
elitist. That's what's happened with Bitcoin. It's become elitist.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thanks for that explanation. Yeah.
You're welcome, man. I'm glad you understood that level, and then you asked that question. The sad part is today, not a lot of people get enough time to do research, and they wouldn't know. Even if they have done the research, they may not have done in this particular point of what has happened in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash's plate. Why? What has happened in that time? What was the real fight about the developers' talk? Those kind of things is very difficult. At least with me telling you all this, you can go back and research whenever you get a minute, and see the particular point that I'm mentioning is something for you as a doubt, and you can go and always check it. So these are the things that we would like to bring in on our meetup. And thanks for your question. It was perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
MK Mansa has a question, I guess. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
mute yourself.
Hi. Hi. First of all, thanks for your time.
You're
Um,
welcome.
like, uh, I have two questions. One, what's the product and services you are offering, and the purpose of this meeting? And second, when you say that it was designed so that only rich people can afford, I think my understanding is it's different what you have explained. Because initially the gas fee, they were paying a Bitcoin, and the USD rate for Bitcoin, it started with 1 cent, and their offering eventually was pretty low, and to they were offering a quite good number of Bitcoins. Sometimes people used to make multiple Bitcoins. They were mining in a day, and even in that case, their USD conversion was very low. So I don't think that that was the case that they wanted to restrict it. Only the mass adoption was their main criteria, and the way it was designed, that eventually the way this gas fee will work, it will keep changing. That's my second.
So your point understood. We will go back to the second point for later. First point was that you were mentioning what are the products and services on Insta Crypto. The product and services in Insta Crypto are cryptocurrency, buy and sell cryptocurrency instantly on a non-custodial wallet. That means the wallets and addresses that you will receive your cryptocurrency from our exchange is in your own personal and private wallets. Wherever you'd like your crypto to be sent, we will send it directly there. Unlike other exchanges, where other exchanges, when you buy a crypto, buy Bitcoin on the other exchange, they give you a wallet and they store your cryptocurrency themselves. But in Insta Crypto, you have to come up with your own wallet and you receive your cryptocurrency. We do not hold your cryptocurrency. So tomorrow, if we hold your cryptocurrency, we should not be, hijacked by government, or hacked by a developer and taken away all your cryptocurrencies that's held in our exchange. So that's why we give it back to the people, so that people have the power back in their hands. And also, when you receive your own cryptocurrency, you learn more from it and you understand more from it. And also, you can use your cryptocurrency better than keeping it in exchange. In an exchange, when you keep your Bitcoin, and you were going to pay just $100 worth of Bitcoin to someone, when you remove it from the exchange a small amount and send, the fees that they charge is very, very high. They charge somewhere between 5 to 10 times more than the network fee. So that's way too much. That's why we charge less, and we only charge a network fee for you to receive in your wallet. After that, when you hold it in your wallet, when you send just a small amount of Bitcoin, you only pay the network fee. You don't have to pay 10 times more than network fee, because you kept your Bitcoin in an exchange. So those reasons why we have become a non-custodial wallet. And we also like to do an instant transaction as quickly as possible, because those things are very important in any kind of like value transfer or payment settlements around the world. That's what Insta Crypto offers you. We do offer consulting, and we do offer API services also. That's for a later stage, of course, when you understand crypto hold and use and experience, and you want more solutions out of it, then we can definitely help you with that. That's where we are. The meetups are done to purely bring in more confidence with people, because, like I said, I was also beginner in Bitcoin in 2010, because I did not get to meet anyone in person or speak to them online one on one, like the way you asked a question and I'm answering. Because I couldn't do that much, I didn't get a lot of confidence. Because of that, I didn't buy a lot of Bitcoin in 2011. If I had met more people, I may have bought millions of Bitcoin maybe, but I guess I had less, because less confidence. So to fix those issues is why I do this meetup every week. I should do this till recently, from 2013, and now I do it once a month, just so that it's building confidence to everyone. Okay, so that's the point one. I hope
Yeah,
you point one is enough.
I have a no. I'm not clear on this. So you mentioned that you are a exchange or you are a wallet. So you said that you are a exchange.
Yes.
And can you suggest me a use case? Why do I even need you if I need to keep my asset in my wallet?
Yes.
For
So
example,
in your wallet, if you
yeah.
hold your asset, let me just answer you one bit by bit like this because it helps others also to understand better. Because most of them are newcomers who come, and the video will also be aired later, so it'll be easy to help for people. So the point you mentioned was, what is the use of me holding my own cryptocurrency? Is that right?
No, that's not my question. My question is why even do I need you as a layer in between? For an example, somebody is going to pay me. I get that payment directly in my account. Like if I'm using my wallet, decentralized wallet, it comes directly to me. Why even do I need you to come through you?
So very good question. You received your Bitcoin in your wallet. It's a non-custodial wallet. You hold it in your wallet. That's fine. And you're sitting in India, and you like to now change zero point 0.5 of that Bitcoin that you received into INR. How do you do that? You can take any exchange for that matter and do it. InstaCrypto is also one of the choice. You can also come to InstaCrypto. In InstaCrypto, what is the difference is you don't have to now send that zero point 0.5 to us in our own wallet, which is given by us like the other exchanges do, which we don't give, so you don't have to send. In other exchanges, you have to send that zero point 0.5 and they hold it, and then you trade that and you take INR back. In our exchange, what you do is you see the price. When you see the right price and you zero point 0.5 is bringing you X amount of rupees, when you think it's the right time, you just convert that to straight away to INR. At the time of conversion is when we provide you an address for you to send that crypto to this address. As soon as this address receives the crypto, we have a crypto payment gateway functionality ready. As soon as we detect the payment has been sent by you in crypto, we send you the INR within 5 minutes and you will receive your INR. Our service is needed for you to change your crypto to INR and INR to crypto whenever you want without using a controlled exchange where they control your fiat and crypto in the before the exchange and after the exchange. You understand?
So you guys do P2P or you do through the banking?
We do it through banking and we do it through company. Our company holds the liquidity and we will provide you from the company liquidity. Because it is from the company liquidity, we can provide you much more quicker and cheaper than the other exchanges do.
So you mean to say the USD conversion is going to be better if I do it through you compared to if I do it through Zapay or any other provider which is there, or if I do P2P on Binance or anywhere else, correct? That's what you mean?
Yes, yes.
So typically, how much is the difference per dollar?
So,
Like per
okay,
USD?
that's a good question. You are coming down to the details of how much volume other exchanges are doing and what we are doing. We
No,
are at
no,
a very
not the
small
volume.
volume.
Sorry, let me rephrase my question. I'm not. I'm not much concerned about the volume. I'm concerned about the conversion rate. For an example, I am getting 80 rupees on Binance, and some. So, how much would I get? I'm giving you an example. So, what is going to be your, like if it is 80 on Binance, how much you guys gonna give?
That's a very
Uh,
good question. Have you ever asked that question to another exchange where WazirX is giving 81, why Coin D6 is giving 81.25?
I don't like personally Vajirax. I
No,
feel
no, I'm
that
just saying
no,
two
I did
different
not
exchanges
ask.
have two different prices because of their market depth and their customer profile. So if their customers are many, they're probably able to give you better price. And if their depth is much more deeper and they're able to produce better price, they will produce a better price. It is not in their control in the exchange control. It is in the control of demand and supply of the users. Exactly how our exchange works. It all works on the demand and supply of how much people want to sell and buy. And mind you, USDT is the example that you gave. We would never use USDT. That's a stable coin. Crypto was never meant to be a stable coin. Because if you are putting crypto in value in stable coin, when the bull run comes, your stable coin is not going to get the bull run experience. So for those reasons, we do not in Insta Crypto we do not provide service for stable coin right now. Our coins mostly are variable cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash, Doge, Tron, those kind of coins. So that's where we are. We are definitely your USDT and crypto and Bitcoin is all the same for you, but the pricing depends on the depth and the market.
So that doesn't answer my question. Can you just make it very simple and very transparent? You gave me a lot of information, but my simple question is, I know you don't accept USDT. For an example, I'm giving you $1 worth of coin which you accept.
Bitcoin. Let's say, let's make it easy. It's Bitcoin.
Yeah, just for example, I'm giving you $1 worth of Bitcoin. If
Let's
I
say, let's say Bitcoin Cash, because $1 Bitcoin
whatever the
cannot be
coin
moved.
it is in USD value as we speak, it's $1.
Yes. So
So if
Bitcoin Cash of
I
$1 you're giving me.
let me finish my question. So the coin of your choice, if I give it to you $1 worth, I'm getting 80 Indian rupees from another exchange, say that Binance, Zapay, or any other which is there, WazirX, and like whatnot. How much I'm gonna get it from you as we speak today, like in the real world? Is it
So
going to
you
be
again, you
10%
said
more,
about.
or is it going to be less?
So it will be higher all the time.
Approximately how much?
Maybe 0.0001% higher than other exchanges all the time.
Okay, point 30. It means it would not make much difference for a like
Yes.
person like me, because my transaction is hardly going to be $1,000, so it will be hardly a couple of rupees, correct?
Yes, and you actually made a nice point right now, because your transaction is only 1,000 rupees and hardly small amounts make any difference. If you pay a higher fee in an exchange, you will be losing a lot more. Did you understand?
No,
In our
yes,
exchange,
no.
I'm saying point to point. What I mean by that is you were only changing that $1 worth of Bitcoin Cash in an exchange, but actually there is a reason for everybody to change $1 worth of Bitcoin Cash, right? Somebody is actually making a payment to someone. They don't have Bitcoin Cash, but they send 80 rupees to us. They take 1 unit of that Bitcoin Cash, they send it to someone. They do that in that exchange. But in an exchange, when they do that, they send the 80 rupees first, buy the token of coin in their wallet, and from the wallet, when they send out to the person they were sending out to, they have to pay a high fee that the exchanges are charging to withdraw the crypto from their exchange, because it is 5 to 10 times more than the network fee. In our exchange, we only charge network fee. So when the same unit when you buy from us, the reason you were doing as a transaction, you were saying a hypothetical experiment of just changing $1 or one dollar equivalent of token is to do some kind of economic activity. I'm giving you an example of that activity. That activity is someone that you were trying to pay in Japan. He gave you his Bitcoin Cash address. That Bitcoin Cash address, you straight away put that in Insta Crypto, and you pay us 80 rupees. That Bitcoin Cash goes straight to that address, and the person who's supposed to receive will automatically receive it. So did you see there is already the person who's supposed to receive your economic activity completed? But if you use WazirX or UnoCoin or CoinDCX, where they provide wallets, you transacted 80 rupees, they gave you the token is sitting in their exchange wallet. From their wallet, when you send to that person you were supposed to send to, when you make the transaction, out of that 80, he may get only 50, because the transaction fee was higher with your exchange, because when you withdraw the amount from out of the exchange in crypto, they charge you a higher fee and you lost a lot of money. So that means at all point of times, if you're going to make an economic activity with cryptocurrency, Insta Crypto gives you a better price.
I can I ask you a supplementary question?
Yes, yes.
So I don't agree with your point that there is a fees is used these days.
What fees is used? You mean to
L-
say
like the
transaction fee?
gas fee, it is not used, because most of the time, for an example, when I use, I'm doing it for free without any fee.
I'm sorry, you are lying right now. You
Just
have we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Let's just stick to Bitcoin
can I
Cash.
complete it? Can I complete it?
No, you just said you're doing gas fee free. No, nowhere you're giving gas fee for free. Where are
So
you seeing gas fee for free?
unless I complete, you would not know, right? You can
No,
count
but
it.
because you said gas fee is for Ethereum. Ethereum, when you use the word gas fee, Ethereum transactions are never happened without any gas fee. So I don't understand why you can
Okay,
say,
network fee, gas fee, or for me as a customer, total the transaction fee. Let's put it on the easy word, correct?
okay,
So there are ways like I do Binance to Binance when I pay.
oh, that is
They
Binance to Binance. Listen, again, Binance
can
to
I
Binance is an
can I
exchange to exchange.
You're not allowing me to complete my question. You are interrupting me in between. If
Go
you
for
don't
it.
want to answer, that's okay.
No, no, but your point of question should be
But
equal to understanding for others also.
until you will hear me out, how would you like answer me? You pick up
I
my
just
word and then you go ahead.
I just don't want people to
Can
pick
I?
up your word and think that there is three things like that.
No,
So
you
when
can
you're
prove me
saying it
wrong.
also, you
That's
have to
okay.
use a word. so that people understand
Okay.
it and believe that there is.
So let me complete it, sir. Let me
Okay, okay.
complete it.
Go on, complete it.
Right? Maybe I'm not aware of. You can educate me. That's okay.
Sure,
But
sure, complete.
interrupting me at least three times. That's. I assume in India it may be okay, but you said that you stay outside. I think it's considered to be very
Rude.
prepared. But
But
anyway,
saying wrong things in a meetup like this about cryptocurrency, that it is fee is zero, is also rude, because others who come here are also very new. They should know what exactly is happening. So when you say new zero, please
so
give me an
can I?
example
Okay,
of
you
that
can
place where
counter
you
me,
think
but
it's zero.
can I complete my question?
You
Go
just
ahead.
completed the question.
Right. So you can remove me from your meet. You are admin. That's okay. But
No,
if
no, we
I'm here,
want this
just allow
question,
me
please.
to. Okay. So my question is like, so when I use the transaction, I use some different ways. Like
Please
if
explain
I
different
first,
ways.
okay, that's what I'm coming into. Can you just mute yourself for at least just for 60 seconds?
Okay.
Okay, because if you will interrupt again, okay. So when I use it, I if somebody a user is Binance user, I use Binance to Binance. It's a zero fee. I use TRC20, which is again zero point 0 some fee for per 100. When I use Polygon, proudly made in India, again the fee is less than like couple of cents. I'm talking about $1,000 of transaction. So when you're talking about the fee, so either it is zero or I'm taking a use case of $1,000, or it is even not even a 50 cents for the transaction.
Okay.
So my
Can I
question to
now
you
say it,
is,
because
are
you made a
you
point about
having
your
a
question.
solution which is which is more economical, or you just giving me an idea that no, the fee is too high? So my question and my thing is that it is not high, it is damn cheap, and there are so many options available.
Okay,
Now
so
you can
please
answer, you
understand
can
the beginning of
just
the point of this
go ahead,
conversation and the
please.
meetup is we are talking about
Vikram, please
decentralized
unmute
coins.
yourself. You're still on mute.
Okay, so the points that you mentioned was all centralized tokens. They are not any decentralized coins at all. So obviously, centralized tokens, you will find zero fee transactions. But we're not talking about those. It's like UPI. You're telling me UPI you're getting for free. Of course, UPI will give it for free. It's a controlled money from the government. I'm talking about the decentralized currencies. I'm talking about decentralized, like where nobody is in control, like the token of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are completely decentralized. So in Bitcoin, to use a decentralized platform and to make transaction without any third party helping you, you are paying higher fee. In Bitcoin Cash, without again a third party helping you, you are paying a lower fee. That's what I was saying. But you are saying about Tron. Tron is a centralized coin. The number of coins increasing and decreasing is controlled by the one person. What's his name? I forgot his name. Sun, Moon, that person. So the coins and the tokens that you're talking about are all controlled. Binance is a controlled exchange. Within a controlled exchange, from A to B, you can always transfer for free. It's like my bank account from SBI to your bank account in SBI. If I had to transfer, I may be able to transfer for free. Yes, of course. So this is within that. I'm talking about a transfer of a asset on a chain which is not controlled by anybody in specific and controlled by everyone in together, which is a consensus system like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. The fees is very important, because tomorrow when your transaction is stopped, like say your Tron transaction, Sun can say a Moon is not happy with them, he can stop the transactions to stars. Then you will not be able to send any Tron to anyone. Your Tron blockchain is controlled by him. And also your Tron blockchain, what you're saying is free. No, first time ever you use, you have to pay one full Tron as fee. And then the later transactions are free within that centralized institution, I'm telling you. So your depth of knowledge, you should have got into it, that the depth is most important. The beginning, the bottom line is being decentralized. Bottom line is without any centralized entities. In Binance, Binance itself is centralized. If Binance shut down tomorrow, just like FTX, everybody will be just only crying and giving all sob stories that they lost their money. It started from Mount Gox in 2012-13. From that day onwards, we know any centralized exchanges holding your funds, can shut down anytime, can be compromised by the governments anytime, can be compromised by hackers anytime, and get compromised by internal developers themselves. But what I mean by that, the guys who are running the exchange themselves eat up your money. It's been happened since last 11 years. We've been seeing it. So I don't understand why we should even think of them as being part of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. They are not part of the ecosystem for payments and settlements and value transfer. They are just a service provider for traders. For traders, because 90% of the crypto is used for trading, means that they only use cryptocurrency to make profit and eat that profit and live out of it, but not use the crypto itself to live. In abroad, when you're living in as a gypsy, you will find that cryptocurrency is much more than just trading tool. As a gypsy, when you hold cryptocurrency, you use that for paying for coffee, you use that for saving your money as a savings for yourself, and you use that to make transactions online, which you cannot do with cash economy. So the further cash economy people like gypsies in the UK, this is super duper useful cryptocurrency like Bitcoin Cash, but not Binance statement. Binance is exchange. Those kind of things will only give you a temporary use, like within their exchange only. Again, it is centralized, but only when it shuts down, you will realize the real potential of a decentralized currency. I was trying to, because I'm sorry, I was going into the mindset of you being talking about decentralized format, somebody's giving you for free. Maybe they give it to you for cheaper, like Tron, which after one transaction, the rest are all free. I hope I was clear on that question, but do ask your question if you think that some point of it is not very clear.
So let other continue. I don't want to take much time because according to me it's incorrect. But let other
What part of it is
continue.
incorrect, Mansa?
I guess let other to take care. Okay.
No, no. Let them also hear, right? What part of it you think is
We can
incorrect?
continue. Let them ask because I don't want to waste their time.
No,
You
we've
know.
already finished our time. Of course, I will
One
allow
second. I'm
others
really
also.
sorry to interrupt. I'm really sorry to interrupt. Deepanjali has a question, so maybe we can pick her question first, and then we can go back to Mansa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Deepanjali, you can go ahead.
So from yeah, thank you so much, Adi. So from the former discussion that was going between MA and Vikram, I
Yes.
have this question that uh, suppose there is transaction between Binance to Binance, so it is kind of low fee or let's say zero fee. But if the transaction is from Binance to Wazirex, for example, so there will be higher fee,
Yes.
even if it is Binance coin, right? Am I correct here?
You're
Yes.
right.
The reason is because Binance, when you remove any asset from a Binance like exchange, they wouldn't allow you to remove the asset for a smaller amount or a network fee amount. They charge extra on top of that so that their exchange holds most of the asset and asset value. If you allow, because it was happening in 2013 when I built Uno Coin, we did not put in the high fee for people to withdraw crypto from our exchange. But because people started doing exchange to exchange transactions, like what used to happen is they would buy in Uno Coin a Bitcoin, and they suddenly saw 2% of increase in another exchange. They will withdraw Bitcoin from Uno Coin and quickly sell that Bitcoin in somewhere like CoinX. CoinX used to be an exchange before WazirX and all that. I like CoinSecure, one of those exchanges. So when they were doing an arbitrage between exchange to exchange, exchanges realized that when removing the asset, people remove it for profit very easily, and we do not hold any asset, because the more you hold asset in exchange, more valuable the exchange gets. That's one of the reasons why they start putting in more higher fee. Now, if Binance does a transaction within Binance from A to B, two people who are both users of Binance, they don't have to do an on-chain transaction. They can just do a number change. Because there is a number change, there are absolutely no fee involved in it, so they can charge you zero fee. But when they move the crypto for your need, because you ask them to move your Bitcoin from Binance to WazirX address, they had to allow you to take that coin away, right? Then they have to put that coin in a on-chain transaction. Because they have to put that on an on-chain transaction, there is a fee. They will put extra 10 times more than that fee, because 9 times they will collect that, so that you take less crypto out. And even if you do, once in a while you can take big amount out, is what makes sense for you, because then you pay a one-time fee. But when you're using crypto as a user, like how UPI is used every day, like small amounts you've been taking out and you're putting it in others wallets for on-chain transaction, that they're not allowing. So that's where Insta Crypto comes very useful, because every small transaction we only charge you network fee, and then you can move it out and pay somewhere. And then mind you, these are all the tokens that we are following is really decentralized. Tomorrow, these tokens that we keep in our exchange should not be a difficulty for you to use, because a third party who's like Sun, who's controlling Tron, can suddenly stop the transaction. This is a happened stories why these are all popular in crypto today. Sorry,
So
Dipanjali, go for it.
yeah, so can we say this thing that Instacart is providing a network through which these transactions will take place, and according to you, it is cheaper than the other inbuilt wallets with the exchange. Like, am I getting it
Yes,
right?
yes. An exchange which gives you an inbuilt wallet, they charge you a higher fee than what we are doing. Is absolutely right. But I guess you ought to, I'll also have to dig down deep a little bit more to tell you there are many use cases of cryptocurrency in this world today. 90% of this cryptocurrency users are sadly only in trading. So these exchanges are find useful for them just to keep the asset there and then keep trading and remove only the fiat part of it. So it is useful there. Only a 10% of people in this world who hold cryptocurrency find it useful to make payments, settlements, value transfer to the people around the world, wherever they want to use this cryptocurrency, small amounts. For them, Insta Crypto like exchange is useful. So Insta Crypto is built for cryptocurrencies use case and money like use case for the future. Unlike the trading platforms which I built Uno Coin in first, that is still my trading platform. I am still proud of it, but that is built as trading platform only for mainly. I hope it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It totally does.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I have one more question, and this is regarding the introduction. You spoke something in introduction.
Sorry, one
So, like,
second. Sachin. Yeah, go for it, Deepanjali.
yes. So I have this question, like, UPI is so popular in India, right? So why not? And the system is very convenient as well. So why aren't we, or why aren't other countries adopting this thing,
Hi, Sachin. I'll just call you
UPI
back in
system,
one
or
minute, Sachin.
something analogous to this?
Yes, I understood your point. Very nice and very clear. UPI like system is there in India, making it useful for people. In abroad, unfortunately, it is not there, because those kind of features are not allowed in those countries. Is because banks are more powerful than their own governments. In the UK, at least, I live there and I experienced that. I can tell you the seven big banks: NatWest, Barclays, HSBC, and what all their names are. Those seven big banks are bigger than the crown and bigger than the royal family and bigger than everybody else. They have the best place in London, Canary Wharf. They took up the best place. They built the best buildings, so they have the most power, and they don't like UPI. They do not provide UPI like feature to their public, is because their public's communication with each other to build economics is not really helping them. Their help is in the printing press. They print their own money. They control so much that they really don't want to give those kind of facilities to their public. So UPI, after becoming popular in India, is been absorbed by the French government also, because the French government realized this UPI kind of system is useful. Even though their French banks are not helping their government bring this technology there, UPI French government is bringing the UPI technology there. Is clear and visually available for you to see that UPI is only in India. It's nowhere else, because no other country believes of giving easy access to their public, because their banks and their governments are already controlled. They are more centralized governments than what we have. India is a bigger and better democracy than any other country. I have seen this in my travel and my experience, and people may debate that, but they may not win it till they experience it themselves. When they go and live abroad, they will know it. India has got better technology. That's one of the reasons why UPI is becoming so popular, and a lot of other countries are checking on us to, import this UPI technology to themselves there.
Salim has a question.
Yes.
Please unmute yourself and Salim, are you there?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Just one question. Do you accept INR
Yes, Salim.
Insta
INR
crypto?
is the only thing that we use, because we are working out of India and we have Indian bank account. ION is the only one that we take right now.
So then,
We
no point discussing about Binance or Trust Wallet or MetaMask because you all don't accept
You're right.
yes,
INR.
yes, yes.
And you are claiming that Zap, you are more cheaper than Zappa and Bazirex or any other exchanges.
Yes.
So that can be possible for INR.
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
No,
Absolutely. You're
okay, got
entitled
it.
to that. Thank you.
MK, I think you still have some questions. You can unmute yourself and
No, I guess if all are done, my question may not be relevant to anyone. But I just wanted to correct in your previous answer what Dipanjali had asked you. There would not be any fee moving your asset from Wajirex to Binance or Binance to Wajirex.
I'm sorry,
They
that is
you log
wrong.
in
That
with
is a
one
lie.
account and you can do
Wazirex to
that. Just
Binance
wanted
and
to
Binance
correct
to
that.
Wazirex. Only those who have
sorry,
used will
Mansa,
know.
like I
I'm
just
talking about an
have a
asset
question
which
to you.
is
Okay.
a
So
crypto.
if I, sorry, Vikram, you're on mute. But before you speak, I have a question for MK. So, MK, if I give you my Bitcoin address, will you be able to send some Bitcoins without paying any fees?
Hi, Sachin. Sorry about that. I was
Yeah, of
muting.
course I can do that. Not it will depend if your address
Yes,
is
yes,
of
Sachin.
Binance, it will be
No, no,
G.
no. I'm not gonna use any Binance or Wazirex or
Let
any
me let
exchanges.
me
Okay,
let me
I'm
just
just going to
okay.
give you
Below that?
my Bitcoin
Okay, okay. They got the keys.
address.
I
I'm
will
going to use
Okay.
a open source non-custodial wallet.
Yes,
I'm
that's not
not
the
even
door.
gonna tell you which wallet I'm going to use. I'm
No,
just
no,
gonna
not that
give
door.
you
The
my
door is near the
Bitcoin
main
address.
entrance.
Will you
If you
be
see in the
able to
picture I've shown
transfer
you,
some
they
Bitcoins
have to come back
without
to the main gate
charge
and then use the
paying
door,
any fees?
which is on the side.
see if it is related to me, I would
Yeah.
definitely, if I'm dealing with
Not the
you, I
ground floor.
will ask
We
you
are
to
all
give
on ground
me
floor
a
only. They have
particular
to come back to the main
blockchain
gate
address. It may be
Yes,
JRC.
yeah, I am giving you the
and
particular blockchain
not
address
go.
that is Bitcoin.
Are
Bitcoin.
you from Insta Crypto, by the way?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you are also habit of not completing the answer or question. Anyway, please
I'm
continue.
really sorry. Please go ahead.
Sorry, Sachin, go
No,
for
that's
it.
okay. That's okay. Sorry, I don't know.
Sorry, I did not get you. Could you
Yeah,
please
yeah,
repeat?
yeah, yeah. That's the gate you will go
I did
in.
not get the
And
answer for my
when
question.
you find the key, you have to
No,
come
sorry, I
back near
don't
the
have any
gate
answer.
and
I'm
take a
sorry.
right. There is a lane, and
I
then
don't know.
there's the door. No, they don't need to open the gate.
I had
They
just
have
one
to come
last
back
question,
towards
Vikram.
the main gate. The house is
So you
big.
were
They have to
saying
walk
like
about a little bit. When they come back
Satoshi
towards the
had
main gate, there
mentioned
is a
that
right
we
side
couldn't freeze
road and
block
then
sizes and
lane, and then they have
other
to go inside
stuff
the lane.
in some forum. So if would it be possible to share the link of
No,
that
it's
forum
there.
or that forum post or the forum
They have to
discussion,
just come back
whatever
towards
it
the
is?
main gate and then not go out of the gate and take a right. Yeah, yeah.
Vikram, you're on mute.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was not just on the mute. I was also out of it because I had a call which I knew we were supposed to finish the meetup at 6, and then that guy kept on calling me. Sorry, I couldn't take that. I couldn't hear him.
Yeah, I was just asking that, during your talk, you mentioned that Satoshi had mentioned that, block sizes could be changed and other stuff on some forum,
Yeah, yeah,
bitcointalk.org or something. I
yeah.
don't remember it exactly. So could you share the link for that forum
Absolutely,
discussion?
absolutely.
Yeah, so will you be sharing it in like the messages section or like separately?
I have just shared
I'm
it. It's
I'm sending you
bitcointalk.org.
the link right away. 1 second, just.
Yeah, but I can see bitcointalk.org, but the specific forum discussion, if it's possible.
Okay, so you can look the search on that. It is very easy to search, but then don't do search back to back. Bitcointalk.org don't allow you to get a lot of information very quickly nowadays. It is a little slow. It's purposely made to go slow so that you get less and less information, but you will be able to search and find it.
Okay, cool, cool. Thank you.
Okay, guys, it's 6 o'clock. I think we were finishing at 5:30, but I would always love to go ahead longer if you have more questions. The more, the better. You guys still want to continue with any more questions? Anyone?
No.
Well, I think it's clear then. clear that we have made our point, and we have helped a lot of people understand that crypto is the future, and that's going to be the way uh, the world is going to be. Hopefully, with less of centralized institutions and more of decentralized uh, people and money and organizations. Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure talking.
Thanks a lot, guys, for
Thank
coming.
you so much,
Thank you
Vikram.
so much.
Thank you, Adi. Yeah, that was nice session. Thank you,